Celtic are back in action again this weekend as they take on Kilmarnock away at Rugby Park in the League Cup. Ahead of the clash, we do have some huge news, of which we are going to share with you. But not only that, we will also round up all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. That includes us announcing the signing of Gustaf Lagerbielke. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for daily Celtic content. Celtic announced our new signing, Gustaf Lagerbielke. A statement on the club's website read, Celtic are delighted to announce the signing of Swedish defender Gustaf Lagerbielke, who has joined the club on a 5-year deal from IF Elfsborg, subject to international clearance. The 23-year-old, who has spent his career to date playing in Sweden, has made 16 appearances in the Swedish league this season, since it began back in April, making his final appearance for the club on Sunday, while he has also scored 2 goals. And in January this year, he won his first cap for the Swedish national side, playing in a friendly win over Iceland. Speaking of his move to the Scottish champions, Gustaf said, "It feels really good and I'm really excited and proud to be here." The first thing you think of when you hear the name Celtic is obviously the fans, the stadium and the atmosphere the fans create here. And also all the good players who have played here and who are playing here now, so I'm really excited to play with them and hopefully win a lot of games and titles. Gustaf becomes the 6th player that Brendan Rodgers has brought to the club this summer, joining Marco Tilio, Odin Thiago Holm, Hyuk Koo Kwon, Hyun Jun Yang and Maik Nawrocki. And speaking of his latest signing, the Celtic manager said, "We are really pleased to finalise a deal for Gustaf to join the club. He is an exciting, talented young player who has great attributes and someone who I think is ready for the challenges that Celtic will bring. I know he is really hungry to achieve success with us. We think he will bring even more quality to our squad and we really look forward to working with him." Gustaf is the latest Swedish player to join Celtic, with his fellow countryman and fellow defender Carl Starfelt having just left the club earlier this month, and the new boy will also wear the number 4 jersey. Henrik Larsson does, of course, lay claim to being the Celtic's most famous Swede, with the striker having netted 242 goals in 315 appearances for the club. Celtic midfielder Hatate faces a significant setback after sustaining a groin injury in the recent match against Aberdeen. The Japanese international, who has impressed since joining Celtic, is expected to be sidelined for approximately 3 or 4 weeks. This puts his availability for the highly anticipated Glasgow derby against Rangers on September the 3rd in serious doubt. Hatate started on the bench for the away match against Aberdeen, as was the case in the season opener against Ross County, where David Turnbull started ahead of him. Whilst Turnbull scored a brace in the first match, he was less impactful against Aberdeen, prompting manager Brendan Rodgers to bring Hatate off the bench to change the midfield. During this appearance, Hatate, who was in promising form, pulled up with discomfort in his groin and had to be taken off the pitch, with Holm replacing him. Medical assessments later confirmed a grade groin injury and a torn calf, marking a significant concern for both the player and the club. With the Glasgow derby looming, Hatate's potential absence is a major concern for Rodgers and his Celtic squad. The recent signing of Maik Nawrocki from Legia Warsaw for around £4 million is already making waves at Celtic, with the 22-year-old defender earning high praise for his standout performances during the away match against Aberdeen. It was Nawrocki's second competitive start for the club, and he is set to be the replacement for Carl Starfelt, who made a move to Celta Vigo last week. Pundit Stephen McGinn, speaking on Go Radio, has drawn comparisons between Nawrocki and former Celtic defender Chris Iger, who left the club in 2021 for Brentford in a deal worth over £13.5 million after 5 seasons in Scotland. Iger's departure was a significant loss for Celtic at the time, but they found a new partnership in Carl Starfelt and Cameron Carter-Vickers, who never lost a league match over the course of 2 seasons when partnered next to each other. Some real positives. I think Nawrocki could be a real good player. He looked like a Celtic player in that game, McGinn said. I love the way he stepped into the game. He almost has that Christopher Iger way of just going in and picking passes. He looks like he can head it. A couple of times he has a free header and nods it down to the Celtic players. I think he looks like someone at 22 who can be a real good player at Celtic. Nawrocki's composure on the ball, his ability to step up into the game and pick passes, and his aerial prowess have caught the eye of observers. These qualities, reminiscent of Iger's style of play, have sparked excitement among the Celtic faithful. As Nawrocki continues to settle into life at Celtic Park, the early signs are promising. If he can continue to develop and adapt to the Scottish game, Nawrocki may well prove to be a shrewd acquisition for Celtic and potentially the long-term defensive stalwart that can take the club forward. Celtic's 22-year-old midfielder Matt O'Reilly has been in sparkling form this season, consistently finding the back of the net. In the pre-match Kilmarnock press conference, the Danish under-21 international shed light on his scoring run, his experiences under the current manager, and the importance of a winning mentality. The former Fulham Academy player attributes his recent goal-scoring success to a combination of factors, including a slight shift in the team's playing style and his own mental state. "I don't think anything's changed massively, to be honest," he told Celtic YouTube. "Maybe I feel slightly better from my mental perspective, which always helps. We've got a slightly new style, maybe my role's changed slightly, but nothing too crazy. I think we've just got into the right positions and stayed pretty calm." The treble-winning Celtic star also spoke highly on the manager's style of management, which he believes has been instrumental in his development. "It's been good," O'Reilly said. "If there's something that I need to work on or needs to be addressed, he'll pick me up on it and we'll go through it, especially on the training pitch. He's good with most players in terms of dealing with them from a personal perspective, which helps on the pitch as well." When asked about his preference for managerial style, the young midfielder revealed that he doesn't have a specific preference. "I wouldn't say I have a preference," he said. "There are so many different styles of management in football, and if they're successful, it doesn't bother me. I like working with managers who can get the best out of me, however that is." O'Reilly, who was signed by former boss Ange Postecoglou, also touched on his development and future potential, expressing his desire to continue improving. "I've been fortunate enough so far in my career to have had pretty good managers, and I do think I'm developing every season," he said. "I'd always want to improve, and I'd always hope the team would want to improve as well. I think it should be an exciting season." The Celtic star, who has scored 2 goals and made 1 assist in the first 2 games of the season, also discussed the challenges of adapting to a new style and new players, emphasising the importance of being ready to adapt. "We've won the first 2 games, so we can't say we've been bad," he said. "We played some really good stuff, but it's going to take time to really gel with the new players coming in and a slightly different style. As a footballer, you need to be ready to adapt, but I think we're in a good place right now." On his role in the team, O'Reilly revealed that he has been given more freedom to get involved in the build-up play. "Tactically, it's just slightly different within our midfield structure," he said. "For me personally, I'm probably slightly more involved at times in the build-up aspect, with the licence to get forward as well. I've got a little bit more freedom to go down and up, which I enjoy." The player also spoke about the importance of a winning mentality, both individually and as a team. "We know the demands and pressures of being at Celtic. Every game you have to win," he said. "It's about constantly wanting to improve both individually and as a team. We have to be relentless and focused, and I think it's nice to be in that kind of environment." Finally, O'Reilly opened up about his mindfulness practices, which he believes have been crucial in helping him stay focused on the pitch. "I've always been settled in Glasgow," he said. "It's more of a mindful thing when I'm on the pitch. If your head's somewhere else or you're thinking too much, you won't be as focused. I've been working on it quite relentlessly off the pitch, whether it be meditation or other mindful practices. I try to constantly improve as a person and as a footballer." With his impressive form, strong work ethic and commitment to self-improvement, Matt O'Reilly is undoubtedly a player to watch this season. Celtic fans can look forward to more thrilling performances from the young midfielder as the season progresses. Brendan Rodgers may very well get the best out of the player, who had a quieter campaign than he would have liked last season. Celtic fans, what do you make of the signing of Gustaf Lagerbielke? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. That does bring us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Remember, we have released our brand new Celtic t-shirts. We have our Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirt and our Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celticapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.